Hello. So this video is going to lead on from the first one, and it's all about transitioning. So transitioning is moving in and out of different positions. So are you worried that your little one's not rolling, or is your little one sitting and they're not moving in and out of sitting? Then this is the video for you. Before we talk about transitioning, something that's really important before that is that children learn to cross the midline, okay? So some children you might find will take with their right hand, pass it to the left hand and give with the left. So can you see how they're not actually crossing the midline? So we want to encourage children to reach across, And that can be as simple as when you give them a toy, you give them a snack, encourage them to reach across. So like I say, crossing the midline is a really important point before we learn to move. So first thing we would be looking at is rolling. So if your little one's on their back but they're struggling to roll, we can help them. Okay, so like we talked about before, make sure that chin is tucked. You can help them at the shoulder and you can help them at the hip. So you would want to give them the least support they need to get moving. So you might find you can help them at the hip and their arm goes, or you might find you can help them at the shoulder and the hip goes. But if they don't and you have to do both, then that is okay. So we want this little arm underneath to be kind of out the way. We want them to look and reach. So we're helping at the shoulder and we're helping at the hip, and they go into side lying. If we want them to go all the way, make sure this little arm is out the way, and we keep going, and there we have them on their tummy. So then to come back again, make sure the arm they're going to roll over is tucked in, and again shoulder and hips, and they're going to push, and they roll back. So that is a really beautiful way, and you can make it into a game. Get them rolling all across the room. Sing 10 in a bed. Anything you like to make it fun. So that's rolling. We then want to look at children who maybe are sitting but are not moving in and out of sitting. So the first thing to practice there is side to side. So we want these arms and these saving reactions to start developing. So we could sing Roll the Boat, we could sing any songs you want, but side to side. So these arms are really effective at stopping them wobbling over. Okay, then we're going to talk about my favourite position. Okay, we're going to talk about what we call side sitting. So once they've sat side to side, we then want them to start again crossing that midline. So they're going to cross the midline, they're leaning on this arm, but those little legs have got to come to the side. So that's them into side sitting, and side sitting is such a beautiful position because they are working their little tummies really hard. They are leaning on this arm, so they could lean on you. If they found it a bit tricky, they could lean on you. You could be watching a programme, they could be playing with a toy, but that is a beautiful position, okay? And then they would bring their legs back and they're back to sitting. And you would also try the other way. So reaching across, pushing through this arm, little leg to the side, and we're there. So side sitting is also what then leads them towards hands and knees. Now children will not do it as simply as that, okay? But it leads towards hands and knees. And all fours is a beautiful position to start developing a little bit more weight bearing. And it also then starts to lead towards crawling. And crawling and standing and walking we will cover in the next video. If all fours is too tricky for them, then break it down. They could do some kneeling against you, or this is where all your household items come in. So they could do kneeling with a bit of support from a towel. They could kneel up against a box. They could kneel up against a footstool, but any sort of kneeling, and then all they've got to worry about is what their hips are doing, okay? And again, the tummy time we talked about before is what helps them develop the strength around their shoulders. And when they come together, you've got your side sitting, and then they move to all fours. And when the hips are strong enough and the shoulders are strong enough, then they'll have a beautiful position that they'll hold themselves. But as we said before, if you are worried that they're not progressing through these stages, then you can always get in touch. In our next video, we'll lead on to the weight bearing, crawling, standing and walking. Hope you've enjoyed this one.